Well, after a 10-day road trip, the Mariners had a good run going 5-4, and they're back home tonight here on this Friday evening with the blue sky above us here in Seattle. Welcome, everybody, to Mariner Baseball. The Dodgers in town. Interleague play. Dave Sims and Mike Flowers. Don Mattingly has brought the Dodgers in with the best record in Major League Baseball, with a record of 37 up and 21 down. And they're getting it done. They've been getting it done over a period of time with Matt Kemp, their best player, maybe the best player in the National League, out of action. D. Gordon's going to start things off, the Dodgers shortstop, son of longtime pitcher Tom Gordon, against Kevin Millwood. First pitch in there for a called strike. Brian Runge working the plate. Ted Barrett at first, Marvin Hudson at second, and Dale Scott, the umpire, at third. Heavy reliance on speed with young Mr. Gordon. Stolen 14 bases, showing a willingness to bunt. Dodgers come in having swept that Philly 4 games. First time ever they won 4 consecutive games in a series in Philadelphia. This after losing 6 of 7 going into that group of games. Right through call. Gordon's gone. Good start for Kevin Millwood. Let's take a look at the rest of the batting order for the Dodgers.
Want to keep the speed off of the bases. Gordon certainly one of them. Herrera hitting second. Definitely want to keep him off the bases. Then you have Andre Ethier with Kemp out. Ethier is the man in the lineup. 48 RBIs for him. A couple of Angels, Rivera and Abreu, hitting in the middle of the lineup for the Dodgers. Now that it's Harrison, Loney, Ellis, and Tony Gwynn Jr. to round out the 9. Numbers for Kevin Millwood, trying to bounce back after his last outing. It was a short one for him. Had to pitch hard to get through the Chicago White Sox, but overall has pitched well. ERA under 4. Opponent's average 2.54 against Kevin.
Elian Herrera. God, it was about 9 years in the minor leagues before coming up to the big leagues. Matter of fact, came up on the anniversary of his signing. And he's done a heck of a job. Manny Mota, longtime coach, told Don Mattingly during spring training, hey, keep an eye on this kid. We may have to use him at some point. They've had a series of injuries, and young man's come up and done pretty well. Don Mattingly, borderline Hall of Famer, former teammate of yours, Mr. Flowers.
Yeah, happy to see that he's doing well in Los Angeles. Or Yankee great.
I remember Don from the mid-'80s when I was doing talk radio in New York. I said, I never envisioned you as a manager. And he said, well, that's not the kind of thing you talk about. But he said, I always admired the way La Russa ran his ship. Played for Buck Showalter, played for Lou Piniella twice, for Yogi Berra for a cup of coffee, and then Joe Torre sort of helped put the finishing touches on it, his influence, the pitch taken outside.
Was Billy Martin before him?
Before
Donnie made it to the big leagues with the Yankees, Billy.
Yeah, he had him for a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. 2-2. Foul back. The Dad said, listen, I know how, and you can appreciate this. He said, listen, I know how hard it is to play this game. All I ask you to do is do your work, be on time, and play hard, and I got your back. Anything less than that, we might have a problem. But
it's not like that's asking for a lot either.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But keep it simple. And then the other thing, he said, listen, if there's stuff going wrong, I like to confront it immediately, not let it fester a couple, 3 days. To left center field for Mike Carp. 2 down.
Good start for Kevin Millwood. Easy fly ball out to Carp in left field. Take a look at the rest of the defense for the Mariners. Michael Saunders in center field. Ichiro out in right. And on the infield, Kyle Seager will be the third baseman. Kawasaki getting to start at shortstop. Brendan Ryan the day off. Ackley and Smoke on the right side of the infield, and Jesus Montero will do the catching tonight. You can see what Kevin did on Sunday in Chicago.
Those just numbers, for my money, Mike, and I think we talked about this on Sunday, don't do it justice. He did a great job because that could have gotten out of hand.
Well, you can see the 5 walks there, throwing 95 pitches to get through 4, but he did pitch his way out of a lot of trouble.
Kawasaki, quick release, and retires Andre Ethier. So a fine start as the Mariners are back home. Nothing across for the Dodgers. Mariners coming to bat. Good to be back home here in Seattle. Mariners about to swing the bats against Nathan Eovaldi and Eric Wedge And the boys a little rested after yesterday's day off. Here's a look at the starting lineup for the Mariners.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. Ichiro leading things off, and it's Ackley and Seager. Seager has been hot lately, driving in runs, hitting third. Montero, smoke coming off American League Player of the Week last week. He will hit this. Saunders, a .487 average on the road. He's moved up to hit sixth in the lineup. Then it's Jay Sokar, and Kawasaki will hit ninth. Eovaldi, take a look at his numbers. Only 12 2/3 innings pitched for him, but 8 strikeouts. He has pitched well. Has 2 losses, but probably deserves better faith in that. Pretty good fastball, 94. Will throw a slider.
Here's Ichiro to lead it off. Pitch from Eovaldi, 22-year-old, is outside, ball 1. Eovaldi was a all-star, AA Southern League midseason and postseason back in 2011. Dodgers have the number 2 ERA. Make that number 9. No, number 2. I read it wrong. Number 2 ERA in the National League. This one popped up behind third base. A.J. Ellis has come up with some big hits for him. And again, without their big power source in the middle, they've more than held their own. Pretty good numbers for Ichiro during the course interleague play in his career, up and in for ball.
There it's early, and I haven't had a chance to see Eovaldi pitch, but right away he reminds me a little bit of Garrett Richards, the young man that pitched for the Angels a few nights ago. Good fastball at 94, 95, a tremendous run on it.
Take the comebacker, throw over to Loney, 1 down.
Take a look at the rest of the defense for the Dodgers. In the outfield, you have Abreu in left. Tony Gwynn Jr. is in center field. Andre Ethier, tremendous outfielder, he is in right. And on the infield, Herrera at third. Gordon and Harrison will play up the middle. James Loney, terrific first baseman. And then, of course, A.J. Ellis will do the catching.
Dustin Ackley swinging a miss. 9 for 32. Hit .281 on the road trip. Home run, knocked in 4. Walked 7 times. Struck out 9 times. And he's behind 0-2. Center fielder Tony Gwynn Jr. shading Ackley towards left center, not too deep. Eovaldi working a pretty good pace. There's a pitch hit down the line, foul. Talking a bunch of the Mariners, they enjoyed yesterday's day off, slept late. A couple of guys said they got up around 10 o'clock and said, nah, I'd go back for another few hours.
Well, to imagine most of them ended up getting to bed at about 4 a.m. playing the night game in Anaheim. I think we landed at about 2:15, 2:30 in the morning. So by the time these guys get their luggage and get back home, may as well sleep in. Why not?
Swing and a miss. Ackley's gone. 2 outs.
Basically just going at him with fastballs. That's a 96-mile-an-hour heater on the inside corner that Ackley isn't able to get to. The first punch out of the game. Bring up Kyle Seager.
He was simply sensational during the road trip, hitting .343, 2 homers, and knocked in 10 runs. And the Mariners as a team, 28 runs knocked in with 2 outs.
Did on the road trip. It's been productive, and I think more than anything, we talk about it all the time, 2-out RBIs, toughest hits to pick up and drive in those runs, and Kyle's been the best at it on this club this year. He's just been terrific in key situations to get the big hit to get the Mariners going. Justin Smoke waiting on deck.
1-1 count.
Good curveball.
Luetge, Robbie Thompson, Carl Willis, brain trust of the ball club. 3-1. Felix Hernandez will not go on Sunday. He'll pitch on Tuesday against San Diego with an extra day off. 3-1 pitch. So full count to Seager. 2 outs, nobody on here in the first. Montero's on deck, and for the Mariners, this is the 4th consecutive hot team they're facing. They go 5-4 in that road trip. Texas was playing well at the time. Chicago and Anaheim, the Angels in Anaheim. 3-2. Dodgers coming off a 4-game sweep to Philly. Best record in baseball.
Well, then you have the Giants to finish up the homestand, a second-place club. You look at the last road trip, it's a first-place team, a first-place team. Second-place Angels, who have been hot. And as you mentioned, the first-place Dodgers, the best record overall.
3-2, fouled off.
And I think that the guys have really done a good job of hanging in there when you look at the caliber of clubs they've played against.
Done real good.
37 games on the road, by far more than anybody else. And I think for such a young club, they've hung in there. So hopefully they can take advantage of being at home and continue swinging the bats the way that they were on that last road trip.
3-2 to Seager. Fouled off again. Eric Luetge talking about, hey, a little bit of normalcy will get restored here now. The schedule will start to catch up. I mean, it is crazy. 37 road games. This is home game number 23. Seager making Eovaldi work. 3-2 pitch again. Taken down low for ball 4.
Nine-pitch at bat for Kyle Seager. Eovaldi's pitch count now at 20.
Here comes Montero.
One of the other things that Eric was talking about the last day in Anaheim before the game, and just basically saying it's a different ball club than the club that left from the last homestand. He was really feeling good about the club and the way the guys have been swinging the bats. I think he's right about that. See how long they can hold on to it. We've had these valleys, and the dips have been pretty dramatic. And some of the highs have been too. You kind of want to flatline it a little bit if you can, and with the way the guys were swinging on the road trip, hopefully they get enough guys swinging in the lineup feeling good about it to where they can continue to score some runs.
Confidence is there. Boy, they battled back from some deficits during the course of that road trip as Montero swings and misses. Strike 1. He's a pretty good road trip himself. 12 for 36, a home run and 5 runs batted in. Baldy with losses to Milwaukee and at Colorado. Committed. 0-2. First time the Mariners are seeing Eovaldi.
They're figuring out here in a hurry. He has a good fastball. Last pitch at 97 miles an hour. Montero thought about check swing and wasn't able to hold up, so he finds himself in a hole. 0-2.
Eovaldi, number 3 prospect. Dodger system, says Baseball America. Montero an 0-2 pitch. Told that Matt Kemp's injury should keep him out till probably come back right after the All-Star break. It's been a big horse for these Dodgers. 0-2 pitch here to Montero. Fouled off. Dodgers profile, they're 2nd in hitting, 5th in runs, 4th in hits, 14th in home runs, 7th in doubles. But they're 2nd in on-base percentage to the Cardinals. Been able to get double plays when they need them, big hits when they need them. Ethier's been fantastic. The 0-2.
Well, you have to think that their home run numbers are going to be down with Kemp out of their lineup. But the other thing too is that I think night games at Dodger Stadium, it's a bigger ballpark. Just take a look at Kemp. But they'll certainly welcome him back and have him hitting 3-4 right there with Ethier, the two of them. That was a lot of damage for the Dodgers, and they need him back.
Kemp on the season, 355, 12 homers, and 28 runs batted in. Pitch to Montero. Going back to second baseman Jerry Hairston Jr. makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Mariners. We're through one. Mariners back home. Blue sky above here at Safeco Field. No score.
Today's Tracer Technology is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Back to interleague play. The Dodgers in town, followed by the Padres and the Giants, and also in town with us here in the booth. Glad to have him with us as always. Mariner Hall of Famer Dan Wilson. Dan the man, what's happening, pal?
Good to see you guys. You guys are like still smoking hot from the road trip, man. All that
it
offense.
ain't bad, you know.
Did
It's
you get a
not
chance
bad.
to see much of it?
Yeah,
Good.
you guys were swinging the bats. Boy, Michael Saunders just. It's fun to watch guys when they're hitting like that and hitting the ball hard. And boy, he and Seager have really just been a sort of a stalwart in that offense for him.
Now, how about Saunders going from almost oblivion to the leading hitter now in the ball club? It's a great story.
Yeah, well, that's what 19 hits will do for you in a week and 10 days.
There's Juan Rivera, former Angel. Mariners familiar with him. Michael Saunders in center field. He will be batting second in the second inning. Leads the club at 277 now. Here's Juan Rivera, the former Yankee and Angel. 1-0 from Millwood. Fly ball. Fairly deep. Backing up Petro. Makes the catch. Kevin Miller gives you a great effort every time out.
Well, we're just showing his numbers from his last start against Chicago. Up to that point, he has really pitched well. And the thing that is impressive is you go back and you look at the clubs that they needed him to pitch well against. The Rangers a couple of times. You mentioned the club with Chicago. And, I was having a conversation with you, Dan. I was saying the impressive thing with Kevin for me is not necessarily that he was able to pitch well against those clubs, but the way that he was going about and getting more ground balls. Because when you and I saw him last time at home, we were talking about how many high fastballs, but he's clearly made an adjustment trying to keep the ball on the ground.
Veteran Bobby Abreu tried to drop one down.
Oh, you're talking about, especially when you're pitching in Texas, you got to keep that ball down. And you're right, done a nice job of keeping the ball on the ground and letting his defense work behind him. Plus, that helps your pitch count and it helps you get deeper into the ball games. And that's what you got to love a veteran out there on that mound and knows what he's doing.
How about this stretch he had there? He wins at the Yankees, at Colorado, and beats Texas. That's a great stretch.
Well, it is. It's a really good stretch, and you'd say Colorado, yeah, at Colorado. But I think the other thing, too, even we were talking about it before you were sitting here with us, Dan, and that is you look even at his last outing, he goes 4 innings in Chicago. Now, Chicago had won something like 8 in a row, where they were ridiculous hot and really doing damage in their ballpark. Throws 95 pitches to get through those 4 innings, but you just felt like some of it was on purpose. He's just kind of working his way through what was a really hot lineup.
Down to Seager. Abreu hustling down the line. 2 down. And remember, too, in that game, he left the bases loaded twice.
Yeah, and I think the thing you see a lot of times with veteran pitchers, they're just not going to give in to the hitter. They're going to be around the corners of the plate, and they may get to a situation where they get 3-2. They're not going to give in. They're not going to throw that ball in the middle of the plate. Yeah, they may end up walking the guy, but they're going to try to get around it somehow, and that's what I love about Kevin and veteran pitchers is they make the hitters hit their pitch, and that's his key.
And on something like that, just to follow up real quick with it, how much of an effect does that have on the younger pitchers that are watching him go through the bases, like Noesi and Bevan and guys like that?
Well, I think it's incredibly valuable because when you look at Noesi and how he's been getting hurt 0-2, and to see Kevin Millwood not giving in to the hitters, and even when he's ahead, in the count, he's staying off the plate, he's staying away from the middle of the plate. Those guys down there have got to be absorbing that and seeing that and making some adjustments because of it.
Millwood didn't like what he threw there, but he got 16 pitches to get the first 5 outs. Impressive as he battles against veteran Jerry Hairston Jr.
First pitch strikes. You can work ahead of guys throwing first pitch strikes. It really opens up things for you, and he's done that. 5 first pitch strikes out of the 6 batters he's faced. One of the other things too, you have an advantage, although the Dodgers have been able to hit and score some runs. They're not hitting home runs, and when you're here in this ballpark, it's going to be a cool evening. You can afford to be a little more aggressive with them, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can pitch to the ballpark, but like we talked about in Texas, you got to keep the ball down. Keep the ball down in Colorado as well, which he's been able to do. So, yeah, you can pitch to your ballpark a little bit.
And the lineup, though, yeah, he's pitching against.
Yes, yeah. And, you know, I mean, but those are the things a veteran guy will look at. He understands where he is and how he can pitch that afternoon, and he'll make his adjustments. And goes back to what we're saying. Those guys that are other starters that are watching him can really learn a lot.
Hairston on the line drive, backing up Saunders, makes the catch on that 3-1 pitch, and Kevin Millwood 6 up, 6 down against the Dodgers. Coming up for the Mariners, Smoke, Saunders, and Jaso in the second. Back here in Safeco Field in Seattle. Glad you're with us for Mariner Baseball. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Dan Wilson, Root Sports crew. Nice night here. Good crowd in the building. A lot of Dodger blue in addition to the Mariner colors this evening. We're in the Northwest green. The Mariners are tonight, as they do on Mondays and Fridays here at home. Smoke, Saunders, and Jaso against Nathan Eovaldi. Smoke since May 11th. Boy, he has been getting it done. A 294 clip. Went from 173 to 229.
And you look up, and by the end of the road trip, he's leading this club in home runs with 10. He's quietly with 10 on the board. I don't know if you can do that or not, but it seems like it's been fairly quiet to see him get to 10. And
backhanded by Jerry Hairston Jr. One out. Let's check in with Tom Glasgow. Tommy?
All right, David, we're going to talk some Subway Series in New York. The Yankees and Mets getting together at Yankee Stadium. Johan Santana on the mound. Of course, last Friday throwing a no-hitter. Far from the case tonight. Take a look at Robinson Cano with a man on. He goes yard in the second and then again in the third. Wow, what a power burst. All Yankees tonight, a 9-1 lead. That is our Sterling Bank score. Dave, back to you.
Robinson Cano is something special. Saunders, Michael Saunders with 1 out is the hitter.
he had a great opportunity there. Tried to bunt for a base hit. Herrera was playing back. He was able to get that past the pitcher. He could have walked to first. Good idea. Just wasn't able to execute the bunt.
Michaels worked his way up in batting. Be the leading hitter on the Mariner Ball Club entering tonight's game. 277. Seager 274 right behind him. 0-2. And he's going to 3 pitches. 2 down. Second strikeout. Eovaldi.
He's just staying with the good fastball. Take a look at it. Elevated fastball and an 0-2 count. Michael can't lay off of it.
You said it earlier. If he's reminding you of Garrett Richards the other day, the boys could be in for an interesting evening.
Yeah, did you get a chance to see that game against the Angels, Dan? It was tremendous. We were expecting 93 with a good sinker, and he was throwing a good sinker at 97. And this young man right here, the reports were he's going to be 93, 94, and we've seen him top out at 97 with some good run on his fastball.
When you saw how he pitched to Saunders there, that first fastball, outside corner, second fastball, inside corner, and the third fastball up there at the letters.
John Jaso DHing tonight. Count evens at 1-1. Something off of that first strike. Jaso with a good road trip. Part-time player, 7 for 23, hit 304, home run and 5 runs batted in. To left field. Bobby Abreu puts it away. 1-2-3 inning in the second for the Mariners. No score here at Safeco. No score here at Safeco Field. Glad you're with us. Mariner Baseball Ball Club back in town. Interleague play. And how about Poppy throwing at the first pitch? Edgar Martinez. Good to see your old teammate, huh?
He looked good. And I tell you what, he put a little hair on it, didn't he? 2 strikes.
I think that might be the best one we've seen this year.
Yeah.
Without question, Mike. He didn't bounce it. It was right on the money. Had a little move to it.
Yeah,
it was great.
Nice little run on his heater right there.
AT&T trivia question. Mariners franchise record doubles in a season. Boys, it's all yours. First hitter is James Loney, bottom third of the order in the third inning.
He threw out the first pitch tonight. I think I'm going to go with Edgar Martinez. A double Martinez.
That's the obvious choice, though, right?
Yeah, but you have the wicked Curtis isn't here today. Ryan's filling in for him.
That's true.
Yeah, so you have to remember that. But that I don't know. I'm just guessing, Edgar.
Slicing drive right to Carp, one out.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to just mix it up. I'm going to go with Big John Olerud. Good doubles hitter.
Yes.
That's a very good call. Mike, I think I'm going to go with you on this one. I go with Edgar. A.J. Ellis, the catcher.
I like it when you do that, Dave, because I know whether I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm not losing any ground to you.
Dude, what was it the other day? It was 25, 25, and 25.
Yeah, the fans were all the same. Dead even.
I'm told A.J. Ellis is like, will remind you of a certain Oakland A that plays first base. Take a look at a lot of pitches. Derek Barton. Works and counts, 0-2.
I saw him swing the bat a couple of times in that series against Philadelphia. Yeah, he looks like he has some pop in his bat. Yeah. 6 home runs on the year and just 150 at bats.
And a game winner in their last homestand. And Millwood dismisses him with a breaking ball up in the zone. Millwood's second strikeout.
Like it was just a high slider, maybe a cutter, Dan, up out of the zone to get him to chase it.
Yeah, probably a cutter up there. Probably not going to try to risk a slider up in there, but a good little cutter and very effective. Ellis had kind of a excuse me swing on that pitch. Good pitch by Millwood.
Tony Gwynn Jr. 271. No homers, 16 runs batted in. Little T's been with Milwaukee, San Diego. Knocked San Diego out of the playoffs a few years ago.
He has some speed. He has 3 triples on the year, 8 stolen bases.
One. Early returns. Answer C, Edgar Martinez. Is already might be lapping the field. Millwood's got Gwynn Jr. at 1-1. Missed by much, 2-1. Straight away is how the Mariners outfield plays. Gwynn not deep. 2-1. Popped it up. Seager taking a look. Montero taking a look. Nice play by Montero. Kept the mask on right at the Dodger dugout rather. As Kevin Millwood first trip through the order for the Dodgers. 9 up, 9 down. Helped by a play by Montero. Well done. Dodgers and the Mariners. A lot of zeros on the board here. Kevin Millwood 9 up, 9 down. Mike Carp leading it off for the Mariners. Carp, Kawasaki, and Ichiro. Mike still looking to get going. Just 4 for 20 on the road trip. Did have a double and 4 runs batted in during that time. 2-1.
One of the things that happened on the road trip when he hit that double down that I thought was great was Eric Wedge. He ended up getting in a 3-0 count, and Eric turned him loose even though he struggled this year, and he ended up hitting a double. And I thought that was a great time for that because Mike, he has some pop in his bat, and you're trying to get him going. You know he's going to get a fastball at that point. He was able to hit it hard, try to get his confidence going.
Yeah, and just giving him the green light 3-0 probably gave him some confidence as well.
2-2 up high. That was early stages of the game a couple of nights ago in the second inning. 2-run double down the left field line as Kawasaki awaits. Carp works a walk to start it off here in the home third. Second walk issued by Eovaldi. Like a little Patsy Cline. As Carp draws a walk, I'm walking after midnight. Munenori Kawasaki. He gets a bunt down. That's fair ball. Throw to first. Now they're going to call it foul. Brian Runge coming out saying, hey, foul ball.
Kawasaki, he ended up getting the start the first game in Anaheim. Brendan Ryan ended up getting the night off, and he played well. Ended up with a couple of hits, including a bases clearing double as he tries to bunt. The ball actually hit on this side of the line, and by the time Herrera fields it, it's clearly foul. He's in foul territory, so that's a foul ball. As you take a look at our McDonald Supermo, but you can see where it hits on the chalk.
Swinging away, fouls it off.
Brings up a good point. Those balls, Mike, usually when they're bunted, I mean, you've seen a lot of bunts down there. Like it's the spin on the ball that really can cause trouble. And that one there, you saw it, most of the time they're spinning away and foul, and that's why guys let them go foul. But sometimes you can see some funky spins coming off that bat.
You can, and the other thing that you have to know is you have to know what the foul territory, where that line is, whether if the ball is rolling, not necessarily spinning like that one was, but whether it's going to go foul or not. You have to make a decision right away on whether to field it or not. I think Herrera probably had a good idea that that ball was going to go foul, but he decided to try to get the out instead, which I always think is a good idea. If you can get an out, especially early in the game, take it. He just wasn't able to get to it in time, but that ball clearly hit and bounced foul because of the spin coming off of the bat.
Kawasaki's biggest moment as a Mariner, fifth inning last Wednesday. Mariners beat the Angels 8-6. He got a bases loaded double in a 4-run fifth inning. Carp dives back safely. Wind no factor here tonight at Safeco Field. Flags hanging low. 0-2 pitch. Slow roller, Hairston to Gordon, and they can't turn the double play. Carp erased on a 4-6 fielder's choice.
Looks like Kawasaki gets jammed on this pitch. The ball was not hit hard, but it was a slow developing double play ball. As Hairston fields it, kind of flips it up in the air a little bit, and then Gordon not able to get much on the throw to first as Loney keeps it from going into the dugout.
It's played by Loney. Top of the order, here's Ichiro. Tap back to the pitcher. First at bat. That was really close.
Well, Kawasaki probably gets the biggest lead of anybody we've seen this year. He always gets out there. He's trying to make the pitcher throw over to first, but that was close.
Watched him a couple of days ago. These guys were taking batting practice. He was working on getting back, hitting that lead right where that right foot is. Just about the far reaches of the cut. Slicing drive, left center field. It'll sit down. Base hit for Ichiro. Hit number 63.
He gets a first pitch fastball at 96 miles an hour. It's right down the middle. Looked like he hit that off the end of the bat a little bit. The ball just died out in front of the outfielders.
Two men aboard. One out for Dustin Ackley. Struck out on a 2-2 pitch. First time up. Bunt. Ball one. Hit by Ichiro. First hit of the ball game. One to count to Ackley. Pitch number 5-0 for Nathan Eovaldi. Good wheels out there for the Mariners, way outside. 2-1.
You can see his pitch count, 50 pitches, 33 of them for strikes.
Really uses that fastball. That was that breaking ball there, way outside. One of the few breaking balls we've seen him throw. Just uses that fastball in and around in different locations.
You're right, Dan. I mean, right now he's at 86% fastballs. That's a big number.
2-1. Dwackley takes it for a strike. 2-2. Back. This is the start of 15 consecutive games against the National League for the Mariners. Dodgers, Padres, Giants come to town. Mariners go to Arizona and San Diego. 2-2. Struck him out. Fouled it into the glove of the catcher, A.J. Ellis. AT&T Trivia question answer. First of all, the question: Mariners franchise record for doubles in a season. Mike and I went with Edgar Martinez. Danny went with John Olerud. Survey says, and Alex Rodriguez, B. So we went for the sentimental choice and got burned. 54 in 1996.
Curtis must have left the question.
2 down. The hitter's Kyle Seager with a couple of men on. Eovaldi with that strikeout of Ackley. It's his third against 2 walks. Out inside in that same year when Alex had 54, Edgar Martinez had 52 doubles. 26 and 25. Sims, Blowers, and the fans. What a race. Coming down to the wire. 1-0 to Seager. 2-0. Good work pitch here.
Well, this has been Kyle's specialty here in the first third of the season. Kyle again, 36 RBIs, 22 of them coming with 2 outs.
Kawasaki and Ichiro aboard. Pitch outside, 3-0. Jesus Montero's on deck. Pitch from Eovaldi, 3-0 here to Seager. Takes it for a strike. Spot here for the Mariners. See if they get on the board first here. 3-1. Off the fist, going back third baseman Herrera. He makes the play, and that'll do it. Seager stunned standing at home plate as he fouled that one off and ends the Mariner threat in the third. No score here at Citgo Field. Tom, thank you very much. No score, just 1 hit in this ball game as Kevin Millwood's about to begin his second trip through the order for the Dodgers. He's got 9 up, 9 down through the first 3. Nathan Eovaldi has given up just the 1 hit, base hit by Ichiro, and stranded 3 runners. D. Gordon took a called third strike to lead off the ball game. inside. Both of you guys faced Tom Gordon, right? Flash?
Yes.
Yeah. Good pitcher. Great curveball, 12-6 curveball, right?
Yeah, and early on, he had a fastball that was probably in the mid-90s, and he had to deal with that curveball, which was one of the best in the business.
2-0.
Starter turned closer, right?
Yep.
Flash. Who's called Flash? Son's got the speed, right?
And Herrera's on deck, switch hitter. Millwood 3-0 count. It's just the second 3-0 count tonight. 3-1. Bunt. Good one. Better play by Seager. Got him. Well done.
You can't drop this bunt down any better than what Gordon just did. It's just an exceptional play by Kyle Seager as he comes into barehand this. It's right down the line. The hard part about this is you have to throw back across your body and keep from throwing it into the runner so that the first baseman has a chance to make the plays. You take a look at the McDonald Supermo. He was able to pick that up with a nice two-seam grip, Dan. Firing that back across the dime and have it come back into the first baseman.
Yeah, tough to do to get that good grip, but nice play, Kyle Seager. A little surprised he's bunting on 3-1.
I think, too, that's a little bit surprising. We were talking about Eovaldi at 86% fastballs. Kevin Millwood, I think he's thrown one breaking ball. Other than that, he's just staying with the heater. I guess if it's working, stay with it until they show they can get on it, right?
10 in a row retired out of the box.
Don't look now, we got a National League game on.
I know.
Fastball dominating in the fourth inning here in about
one hit. How about that, right? Herrera fly to left his first time.
You have a pitcher early in the game that's having success with his fastball like Kevin has done in Eovaldi also. Do you watch the hitters and when they start to get on, or do you wait for them to hit the ball hard a couple of times before you start to mix it up? I mean, how do you decide at what point you have to start mixing your pitches up a little bit more and not just throw fastballs down?
Well, I think you definitely have to read the hitters and how they're swinging at it. A guy like Gordon, I mean, this is his second time through the order now, so you might want to start thinking about getting a breaking ball in there. But you got a guy like Gordon hitting 229 at the top of the order there, probably a guy you're still going to just go after with fastballs. And now they're going to start looking at it and see, hey, how are those 2, 3, 4 hitters getting back on that fastball? And if so, let's start mixing in the off speed.
2-2 to Herrera. Good count. Good accuracy tonight. Mr. Millwood. Here's a payoff pitch. Struck him out. 2 down. Third strikeout for Kevin Millwood. 11 up, 11 down for Mr. Millwood. Tough Andre Ethier. Strike one to Andre Ethier. Leads the Dodger Ball Club in runs, hits, total bases, doubles, RBIs, and strikeouts.
Kevin was able to jam him his first time up, hit a weak ground ball to short for an out.
There's Matt Kemp. House of fire coming out of the starting blocks. I'll tell you, he and Josh Hamilton are just killing the baseball. Every night you watch the highlights, one of them is going crazy, and he's out second time with a leg injury. Counts 2-1 to Ethier. Three and one. Juan Rivera awaits. The 3-1 pitch to Ethier. He does have a good fastball tonight. 3-2.
Both pitchers using the fastball at the top of the strike zone effectively tonight. That's a tough pitch to catch up to. Kevin has a good fastball tonight, throwing 92 miles an hour.
Interesting, Mike. He went to the 2-1 changeup, 3-1. He went to the fastball. Let's see what he does here, 3-2.
Payoff. Popped it up. It's playable. Seager's under it. 12 up, 12 down. Kevin Millwood threw 4. Good looking ball game as he matches zeros with Nathan Eovaldi. Put the Dodgers in town in the first of 3.
Very pleasant night in Seattle. Scoreless between the Dodgers and the Mariners at Safeco Field. Welcome to the Ford Sports Desk. Let's take you to Boston, a matchup between the Red Sox and the Washington Nationals, and 2 of their young studs putting on a show tonight. That is the phenom, 19-year-old Bryce Harper, and oh, he gives that baseball a ride in the 4th. A 2-run shot. And on the mound tonight, Steven Strasburg dealing 13 strikeouts in just 6 innings for his 7th win, and the Nationals get the 7-4 victory.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Good night for Bryce Harper, going 3 for 5, 3 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. Montero's got a 1-1 count leading off. You're in the home 4th. Bouncing ball, that is foul. John talking about Bryce Harper. Young man's playing well, hitting at 288. And that home run is 6th.
He's an exciting player. You get a chance to see him play, take advantage of it. I like the way he goes about his business. I know a lot of people, when he first came up, I believe it was against these Dodgers when he had his first hit and the helmet flip off and all of that kind of stuff. And the whole thing with the Hamels and getting hit in the back. But I'll tell you what, he plays hard. I think he's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, I put him in that category, fun to watch. Him, Trout, Trumbo, Borges because he runs so well. Obviously Hamilton and Kemp and those guys, but it's a good group there. 2-2 pitch. Laurie kid from Toronto, plays hard.
Game was meant to be played hard, wasn't it? It's fun to watch. You guys do it right.
Max effort, right? 2-2 to Montero. Popped up to the second baseman. First time up.
Something to be said for speed.
Oh.
I think it's safe to say that Danny and I ran hard all the time.
Right.
It just didn't necessarily thrill you at all there, Dave. But you get guys that run hard like Hamilton or Harper and those guys that can really move, that's fun to watch.
Nathan Eovaldi, 22-year-old right-hander, 0-2 record. Hot prospect in the Dodger system. 2-2 to Montero. And swing and a miss. That's a 4th strikeout for Eovaldi.
Starting to mix it up a little bit. 3 sliders to Montero. Ends up putting him away with a good slider off the plate. Montero's trying to catch up to 97, but he gets an 87-mile-an-hour slider. Obviously, he's not happy with himself, but a good pitch.
CenturyLink, high-speed pitch. Look at that, 98 he tapped out it. Eovaldi's got 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, giving up 1 hit. It's the only hit in the ball game. It was by Ichiro. 1 out in the 3rd. There's a ball to Smoke. He grounded out the 2nd.
You're right, Mike. He's starting to mix that off-speed stuff in there. That first pitch curveball to Smoke, a good one. Good 6-12. Good bite to it.
1-1.
So difficult for the hitters if you could get a pitch like that over and get it called, because all of a sudden you have to respect it, and still knowing that he has a 95, 96 mile an hour heater to go with it. The best thing the Mariners have going for him right now is they're getting to his pitch count. You see that last fastball at 97. He's at 67 pitches. He's thrown strikes, 43 of them for strikes.
2-1 pitch is Smoke. Chop foul.
I think Justin so far has probably had the best swings off of his fastball. He hit the ball hard to second for an out. his first time up. But even on that heater right there, 97, a good aggressive swing, had the barrel to it, just fouled it off.
Two and two. Broken back ground ball. Loney will take it himself. 2 outs.
This looks like a slider in on his hands. It's 85 miles an hour. Looks like Justin hits it off the label.
Key to a good breaking pitch there, Mike, is getting it to the location that you want. That one in off the plate on Justin. A good hard pitch to hit. And a good one to Montero too for strike 3.
I think the tendency sometimes is to do exactly what Dustin. You pick it up because you're so geared up on that fastball. You wait just a hair long, and that's when that slider coming in on your hands, it gets it in there.
Yep.
1-0 here to Saunders. Broke his bat. It's a base hit. Second hit of the ball game, both by the Mariners. Each row got the first one.
Well, a couple of things. One, Michael Saunders is obviously strong because this is in his kitchen at 97 miles an hour. But he's so strong, he's able to fight it off and actually hit it hard back up the middle. You take a look at the McDonald Supermo, you can see how deep that gets into him and splits his bat in half. But when you're going good, Danny, those turn into base hits.
Yeah, you got to love it.
Wonderful trip turned in by Mr. Saunders. Here's John Jaso.
2 outs, go ahead and try to steal it. We're seeing Eovaldi has a quick move to first, so Michael will have to respect that.
Saunders leads the club in hitting, leads the club in stolen bases with 9.
One of the things we've learned from Michael, and I really like this about the way that he steals bases, is he typically will run on the first or second pitch. He makes up his mind if he's going to go, and he takes off right away. And you have to like that, especially in these situations, because he gives the hitter a chance. He's not in an 0-2, 1-2 count by the time he gets down to second. He has something to work with.
Only been cut 3 times. Jaso fouls it off.
That base hit by Saunders, Mike, that's that pitch we talk about a lot, that one that's inside like that, and you can pull your hands in there just enough to get that ball up the middle. And when you're doing that, you know you're going good because your hands are getting inside the ball where you want them to be.
Well, he's obviously trusting him because he's letting the ball travel. He's not trying to rush himself to the baseball.
Fouled off again by Jaso, 0-2. Mariners trying to pick up their batting average at home. Just 193 here at Safeco Field, 257 on the road. One and two. The 75th pitch coming up for Eovaldi. Saunders back. Don Mattingly got to like the fact pitcher's holding a good base stealer close here.
Well, the other thing he appreciates is the work by Loney over there. Pretty quick with that tag, something that Don Mattingly was great at as a first baseman.
1-2. Takes you for a ball. 2-2.
I'll tell you who else likes that. Holding that runner on first base is the catcher. Gives him a chance as well. If Saunders does take off, gives him a chance to get him at second base. But you're right, Dave. You don't see that a lot from young pitchers quite so much.
2-2. And strikes out Jaso. 5th strikeout for Eovaldi. Through 4. What a ball game we've got. Eovaldi and Millwood matching zeros here at Safeco Field. Good looking numbers posted by Kevin Millwood. No hitting the Dodgers through 4, 12 up, 12 down. He's struck out 3. 4, 5, and 6. Rivera, Abreu, and Hairston Jr. here in the 5th. Dodgers here for the first time since July of 2000. Ball one to Rivera. Flied out to right his first time up.
Look at that line by Kevin Millwood, Dave, and you realize he's thrown 91% fastballs to this point in the game.
Feeling good.
He's got a real good one tonight.
Wow, good pitch right down the middle. There you go. You can see on the tracer. Bottom of the strike zone in the middle of the plate.
Staying with it, 2-1.
A 2-0 heater up in the zone like that sure looks good, doesn't it, Mike?
Tough to lay off of it.
Yes, it really is.
See it really good coming out of his hand, but really have no chance to catch up to it.
Painting, 2-2. Pitch. Two and 2 to Rivera, leading off the 5th. Full count. 3 straight. Make that 3 straight full counts. And 4 consecutive hitters with a 3-ball count as Abreu awaits. There goes the perfect game as you watch Rivera. Dodgers, a lot of turmoil last year with ownership, but they were able to finish 25-10 last year. So you add to what they've done this year since August 22nd, best record in Major League Baseball, followed by the Rangers, Rays, Tigers, and the Cardinals. Magic Johnson, Stan Kasten, their group, the new ownership of the Dodgers. It's helped make Mattingly's job a little bit easier. The turmoil of the McCourt era is over. Rivera at first. Here's Abreu. Chance for 3-6-3. There's the front end. There's the back end. Double play.
Most of the time, the 3-6-3 double play is a tough one to turn, but this is room service for Justin Smoak. Hits right to him. Nice 2-hopper. Easy throw, and then Kawasaki he has all day to finish this double play. Job by Millwood to get the ball on the ground so that they can turn it.
Key to that double play there is the feed from Justin to the shortstop there. Keeps it away from the runner, and it's an easy feed for Kawasaki to make the turn.
2 outs here in the 5th. Jerry Hairston Jr. flied to center.
Justin, we concentrate on his offense all the time for good reason. He's a first baseman in the American League. We should, but he's done an exceptional job defensively this year for the Mariners.
Or 2 to Hairston. Dad, a good player with White Sox in the 70s. Brother Scott, utility player with the Mets. Bounced around, as is Jerry. 15 years, 9 teams, got a ring with the Yankees a few years ago. A 2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Can't believe it. 4th strikeout for Millwood. Got a no-no working through 5 here at Safeco Field. Felix played some catch today. Throw bullpen tomorrow. He's not going to pitch on Sunday. We'll see him Tuesday against the San Diego Padres, coming off left side back ailment from 2nd inning last week in Chicago. Mike Cart, looper, left field, and run down by Bobby Abreu. 1 out. Here's Munenori Kawasaki reached on a fielder's choice. Back in the third.
I think we'll see the Mariners, as they get past Kawasaki, they'll be working through the lineup for the third time. Obviously, they haven't seen Eovaldi until tonight, and one thing that they should notice is he's throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs, and I think they're going to be a little bit more aggressive the third time through the lineup.
Breaking ball misses way upstairs. In on the grass at third is Elian Herrera. Up 3 steps in against Kawasaki. 1-1. Two hits in the ball game. Third inning, 1-out single by Ichiro, and a 2-out single in the fourth by Michael Saunders. That is it in the entire game. Charging is Gordon. Big time play. 2 outs. Drop the order. Here comes Ichiro. 1 for 2. Mariners 66 runs on the road trip. Gave up 52. Looking to generate something here against Eovaldi. Strike 1.
There it was, Mike. First pitch fastball, 94, almost the middle of the plate.
Center field for Tony Gwynn Jr. Misjudged it. Couldn't get it. Broke back and it cost him. Base hit for Ichiro, his second of the night. Gwynn a little shaken up there. Looks like he'll be okay.
Seen this a couple of times. Again, this one served out in the left field. Ichiro certainly thinks he's going to catch it, and it looked like he was going to catch it easily, but as Dave mentioned, he backed up a little bit and then had a late break, and the ball dies out there. A base hit for Ichiro.
There's no perceptible wind. It's not like that,
No.
that wall of wind we saw at Texas when Figgins is under the ball. I got it. No, Ackley's got it. That was amazing.
No, that's not the case here, but the ball just died on him out there. Even with the late break, I thought he was going to be able to get to it as long as he was in the air.
I agree. Ackley has struck out twice on 2-2 pitches. Two. Jeter, Rodriguez, Johnny Damon, then Ichiro. Interleague hits. Bobby Abreu right behind him. Get to see both of those performers tonight. Ackley 3 for his last 10. Put it in play. Base hit. Finds a hole. Couple of men aboard with 2 outs here for the Mariners. Well, he needed that after those first 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, he did. He's been, again, we've talked about, he's been hanging around right between 240 and 250. Dan hasn't been able to get on a real hot streak, but he has done this. Even on nights when things aren't going well, he's found a way to check in and get a base hit to kind of keep things going.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about using that high part of the strike zone tonight. There, that pitch 0-2 up in that higher part of the strike zone, but Dustin able to just get his hands just enough on top of that and not try to pull it, but poke it the other way, and picked up the base hit.
This is where the Mariners were so good on the road, Dave. In these situations, to catch a break on a fly ball that probably should have been caught.
Back up the middle, but Gordon's right there for the force, and that'll do it. They threatened, but turned away in the 5th. Kevin Millwood back out on the mound. He's been dealing tonight. Kevin Millwood Run a very nice ball game tonight here in a scoreless affair against the Dodgers. First of 3 here with LA in town. Let's check out what Mariner topics are being discussed on Twitter right now. And it is Edgar Martinez and Kevin Millwood. Make sure you follow the Mariners on Twitter. Bottom third of the order, Loney, Ellis, and Gwynn Jr. Millwood no-hit ball through 5. Allowed 1 base runner. First pitch breaking ball. Strike 1 to Loney. 3-2 pitch. He walked Ron Rivera to start the 5th. And he was erased in a double play. Millwood has faced a minimum of 15. Featured a very consistent fastball here tonight. That one up high.
Okay, Dan. He's throwing 90% fastballs, and he comes out and starts this inning with a 70-mile-an-hour curve. Where do you come up with that one?
Solid swing, left, right center, and there's Saunders jumps on. What do you see? What do you like, boys?
Well, I just like his fastball command. It's been a big key of his success overall this year, and he has it again tonight. And again, being very aggressive with it. At times mixing in his cutter and slider. We just saw a good curveball from him, but I think it all revolves around his fastball command, and with that, everything else looks a little bit better, Dan.
Yeah, I think the one thing I see on that fastball tonight, too, is that good movement that he has, that good sink, that good run to it. You can start it off the plate away to a right-hander or run it in on a left-hander. So when you got that kind of movement, and like you said, you mix in that breaking ball from time to time, he's just kept him stymied.
Strike 1 to Ellis, 11 of 17. First pitch strikes.
Must be a lot of fun catching when a guy is on and he can hit his spots the way that he has done it tonight.
Yeah, that's when it's the best. I mean, you're just back there, and every pitch you call is such a quality pitch, and it's a blast.
The 0-2. Struck out Ellis. No 2 pitch back in the 3rd. Fooled him on off-speed pitch running away. Swing and a miss. Ellis is gone. 5 strikeouts for Kevin Millwood. 2 outs in the 6th.
This is just another good fastball. 93 miles an hour on that last fastball, right at the top of the strike zone. That's a pitch that we've seen him use effectively with 2 strikes on hitters, Dan.
Yeah, great pitch right there, Mike, but really set up by the pitch before that little off-speed pitch, a little slider, maybe a little cutter off the plate away, just off the plate, and then he runs that fastball up in the zone. Good sequence right there to get the strikeout.
This is the hardest he's thrown this consistently, Mike. Wouldn't you say through 6?
I think so, yes. We've seen him touch 94 a few times this year, but he's been consistently 92, 93 with his fastball tonight. There's another good fastball at 92 in on the hands of Gwynn. So I would agree, Dave. I think you're talking in the beginning. Typically, the 94 is at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you start working into the 6th inning. Typically, the fastball starts to move down in that 89, 90 mile an hour range. He's had a good heater tonight. He's used it effectively.
He's got 2 outs, nobody on. 6th inning. You wonder, you watch a guy through the course of the season. He's an older guy. He's 37 years old. Now he's consistent on a cool night here in Seattle. All of a sudden, it's the most consistent night with the fastball. I think that baby's popping.
It has to help, I would think, Dan. Cooler weather.
Yeah.
2-1.
I think the thing guys struggle with sometimes when it's really cold is getting a good grip of the
slick in there.
Yeah, they can't. Well, no, actually, it gets dry. It gets dry, and they can't get that. They want that little bit of moisture on their fingers. But tonight's probably a perfect scenario for a pitcher.
2-1 to Gwynn. In there for a strike. He's rallied so nicely. He falls behind the count, comes right back.
And again, the quality of the pitch, though, that's what Dan was talking about earlier, is the quality of the pitch. He's just not getting back into the count by throwing it down the middle.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Here's Montero to throw down the smoke. Kevin Millwood already with a career no-hitter under his belt back in 03 with the Phillies against the Giants. He's 2/3 of the way home here against the Dodgers here at Safeco Field. See if the Mariners can get a run or 2 or 3 against Nathan Eovaldi. First pitch, ball 1. Montero smoking Saunders here in the bottom of the 6th. 4 hits for the Mariners. None for the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Just off the glove of Hairston. That's a base hit.
Good start for the Mariners. Solid base hit for Montero. Hairston goes up as high as he can go, and it goes right off the top of his glove. Take a look at the McDonald's Supermo, bending the glove backwards and falling into the outfield. Good start for the Mariners. Second time they've had the leadoff batter on tonight. Clark was able to get on with a walk back in the 3rd inning.
Mariners have gotten Ichiro to second. And that's the farthest advancement they've had. It was in the 5th inning. Strike 1 to Smoke. Ground out to second, ground out to first.
Nothing happening in the Dodgers bullpen yet, but 90 pitches. 60 up for strikes. He still has a good fastball.
0-2 to Smoke. Smoke on a bad run right now. He's 0 for his last 13. Maybe that'll be a lucky number for him right here.
Eovaldi, he threw 102 pitches in his last outing against the Rockies. I would assume that the Dodgers will get somebody up shortly.
One, 2. What do you remember about playing with Mattingly when you were in New York?
No, he was great. I mean, at the time that I was there as just a kid, he was already a superstar in New York and had done just about everything. But he was a great teammate too, and I was impressed with the way that guy worked. And we talked about it. And you have a similar guy who we saw throw out a first pitch tonight, Edgar Martinez, but same type of guy would just hit all the time.
Foul back.
That's why they're great, I suppose, Dan.
Yeah, it's just the work ethic is amazing. The thing I remember about Donnie was playing in the playoffs in New York and just hearing that Donnie baseball throughout the stadium. So loud, it was just amazing.
Smoke. It's got a 1-2 count.
Maybe you know this, David. Probably when you think about athletes and their opportunities, Donnie having to wait so long to finally reach the postseason with the Yankees was a shame.
Yeah, he talked about it. He said, geez, you know, that was a good club up here in Seattle. We're talking about the crew that you guys had. 95, 2-2 pitch. Wow, strike 3 call. Smoke didn't like that call by Brian Runge. So we'll take a look at our Banner Bank building to the future. Here's some good news, and a guy maybe we'll see this year, certainly next year, I would think at the very least. We speak of Danny Hultzen, 8 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. 1 walk and 8 Ks in 94 pitches.
That's what you have to like. Efficient 94 pitches with 8 strikeouts to pitch through 8 innings, Danny. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, you ask your kids to go down to the minor leagues, and all you want them to do is put up numbers. And I'll tell you what, those guys down there in Double-A, and Danny Hultzen probably among the highest of them, but just been putting up those numbers time and time again. And you love to see the consistency that they're going out there night after night and doing that. So those guys are doing what they're supposed to be down there in Double-A.
I so look forward to seeing Taijuan Walker and Danny Hultzen up here. Saunders on a breaking ball, swinging a miss.
Scott Albert, the left-hander, getting loose in the Dodgers pen. Figured somebody was going to get up soon. 97 pitches now.
0-1 to Saunders. Inside.
Look at the 8 innings that Holtzen threw. I always thought that was one of the interesting things as an organization when you have young pitching, especially the talented young pitchers that they have, and trying to keep the innings down. It can be a difficult thing because if these guys are out there dealing only 94 pitches today to get through 8, that has to be a tough thing to manage as an organization.
1-1 to Saunders with a man aboard. Here's our Ask Mike question for tonight. What changes have you noticed with Saunders from last year to this year?
I think a couple of things for Michael. The first thing was obvious when you showed up to spring training. He was just much more aggressive last year, Dan. He was taking so many pitches and constantly in 0-2, 1-2 counts. That's difficult for any hitter to manage. And for Michael, you could see it in spring training. And I think as the season has gone on and now that he's in this groove, he's been able to get a little bit shorter and manage his swing a little bit better. You talked about the base hit he had his last time of staying inside that fastball that was in on his hands. That's something he would have never been able to do. That was an out last year for him. And so I just think that you just see him maturing and gaining confidence probably more than anything.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, he's made a few, obvious sort of physical changes, but I think you're right. The mental side of hitting for him right now is exactly where he wants to be, and that's what's changed a lot.
He's got a 1-2 count. Off speed pitch popped up. First baseman Loney taking charge. 2 outs. Tell you what, this Loney kid's pitching well. Change in speed, great fastball. Well, pitch against Saunders.
I would agree. And again, I'll go back to Garrett Richards, who we saw the other night for the Angels. He ended up going 7 innings in his outing. He only gave up 4 hits and 1 earned run. And he was terrific. He gave up a solo home run to Saunders that he hit out to dead center field. But same type of stuff, 95 to 97 with good run on his fastball, mixing in an occasional slider or curve. But for the most part, it was his heater that caused problems for the Mariners. And you're seeing the same thing tonight with this young pitcher.
A.J. Ellis caught that one in the webbing of his glove. Ball 1. Strong work here by the youngster, 22 years old. One count to Jason. Hairston gobbles it up, throws the Loney. That'll do it. Mariners get a man aboard. 5 hits for the Mariners, none for the Dodgers in this scoreless tilt. Kevin Millwood throwing no-hit ball through 6, just walked off the field. Came out to the mound, and looked like he was going to throw to John Jaso to warm up.
Yeah, I don't think he threw a pitch. I don't think he threw one warm-up pitch, Dan. He kind of stood out there for a second and then waved basically to the dugout, and that's when Eric Wedge and the trainer came out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They called Brian Runge out. He was down over there talking to Don Mattingly, but they brought Brian out and they talked to Kevin a little bit. And
he did throw a pitch. He did throw a pitch in warm-up. And I don't know what happened, but he didn't throw another one, I don't think. He's going to try.
Boy, he doesn't have it.
Yeah, he knows something isn't right. That first pitch just did not look good.
How about that? He's got a no-hitter through 6, and he has to leave.
That's a real shame. He was just really on top of his game. Hopefully it isn't anything serious for Kevin.
Had a great fastball tonight, used it so well, half a dozen strikeouts in his 6 innings.
Well, you see the 6 innings obviously did not give up a hit or a run, just with a 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and only 68 pitches, which is really nothing for Kevin. He consistently is up over 100. So you just have to hope that it isn't something serious. Danny, you thought maybe it was a blister or something like that. We'll have to wait and see, but it really didn't look good.
So Kevin Millwood out. Charlie Furbush got all the time he needs to warm up. No score here at Safeco Field. That no-hitter from Millwood down the drain for him. Well, interesting development here at Safeco Field. A no-hit performance by Kevin Millwood comes out to warm up for the 7th inning. And something just wasn't right, fellas.
Yeah, Dan and I have been talking about it, just trying to figure out what it is as he gets a strikeout. Another strikeout. His fastball was an effective pitch for him in the game tonight. His location was terrific. Nice little cutter or slider right there. And he looked like he was just fine. The previous inning, the 6th inning, he looked like he was great. Ended up 2 strikeouts to finish that inning off, Dan.
Yeah, it's tough to sort of predict what it is that Kevin Millwood has experienced. But I tell you what, he threw that first warm-up pitch, Mike, and then he lifted his leg to throw the second warm-up pitch, and then just dropped his leg and said, I'm not going to do it. So we can only speculate at this point, but tough break because it's going to no-no.
Yeah, as soon as we know something, we'll let you know. But it's again only 68 pitches.
He had so much going for himself tonight. I mean, a quality fastball deep into the game, and boy, that is one turn of events. Charlie Furbush is going to come in.
Charlie, with a 2-1 record, a 3.26 ERA, 22 strikeouts in the 19 in the 3rd innings, really has done a good job. Only 4 walks with the 22 strikeouts. For Charlie, good fastball. He'll be around 91 with his fastball. Also mix in a slider and a changeup. He'll try to pick things up where Kevin left off. D. Gordon, the leadoff hitter, tried to bunt. Kyle Seager made a great play back in the 4th inning. He was leading off the 4th and dropped out a perfect bunt. Kyle made an excellent play. He's up on the grass. Trying to take that away from him.
High fly that Saunders calls off Carp. 1 out. That is something. Do you remember being a part of or seeing a situation like that where a guy's got a no-no going, he has to take himself out of the game? I don't.
No hitters are so rare to begin with. You just don't see them very often, and to see a guy come out, you don't see that at all.
Charlie Furbush pitching to Herrera, shows bunt, takes a strike. Mariners have 5 hits. They haven't got anybody beyond second base tonight. Young Nathan Eovaldi struck out 6, walked 2. Fastball by Charlie. Happens. 0-2. Charlie's acquitted himself after a rocky start. He had some rocky moments late last year, a couple this year, but he's been a very good situational left-hander here in 2012.
Well, the other thing that he's done is because he's pitched so much better as of late, Eric's actually done situations like this where he'll let him pitch through an inning or 2.
High chop. Furbush throws away off the tarp. Ichiro has it backed up, and Herrera, he'll hold at second.
That'll be an error on Charlie. It looked like he was in good shape, spun around and just spiked it, threw it in the dirt. No chance for smoke. Take a look at it. Kind of an excuse me swing from Herrera, and Charlie in good shape. Doesn't look like he rushed it at all. Just threw a sinker over there into the runner.
A good breaking ball right there, Mike, from Furbush, and you're right, just kind of a better. It was almost an emergency hack to try to make contact.
We mentioned a lot of Dodger blue in the building here tonight, and you're hearing from them right now with 1 out, man at second. Just the second base runner for the Dodgers. Ethier, the hitter, ran out to short, pop out to third. Breaking ball for strike 1.
Like the right-hander Stephen Pryor along with Luetge, both of them getting loose in the Mariner pen.
1-1.
Well, Charlie has a good fastball, and he's throwing 93 miles an hour. There's Lucas Luetge getting loose, and Stephen Pryor.
Think they'll leave the slider out there?
I think he's going to come in and throw hard.
Count it 1-1 to Ethier. Breaking ball. Good one. 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Herrera at second. Pitch from Furbush. Getting the fight. 2-2.
Good 1-2 breaking ball there, off the plate, down and away. Good location on that pitch. 2-1 the pitch before too. He's got a good breaking ball tonight. He's throwing that, Mike, you mentioned that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and that in combination with that curveball is a tough duel.
Ethier having a whale of a season. Charlie trying to get rid of him, and he does. Great pitch by Furbush. 2 down here in the 7th.
Another breaking ball down on the outside part of the plate, off the plate away. You see Jesus Montero getting out there as far as he can and keeping that nice low target, and Charlie puts it right there on that glove. Great pitch to a tough hitter on Ethier.
So 2 outs. Furbush records a strikeout. If he had made a good throw, he had been out of this inning. Eric Wedge going to come take the ball from him. And with Rivera coming up, bringing a right-hander, it'll be young Stephen Pryor. No score here at Safeco Field. No score. Mariners continue to no-hit the Dodgers here in the 7th. As we take a look at the Mariner calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Thrilled to be home. Padres come in next, followed by the Giants. And after that, Mariners go to Arizona and San Diego, then come right back home for more home baseball, more home cooking.
Stephen Pryor will take over for the Mariners. See his numbers. Only 4 innings for Stephen, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Rivera coming to the plate. Rivera hitting 289 off a left-hander, just 200 off of righties.
Off the plate, ball 1. Crucial out right here. 2 outs in the 7th. Throwing error has Herrera at second base. Is that good heater?
A good location on that pitch, Mike, down at the bottom part of the strike zone at 95. That's a tough pitch to handle.
We've seen him do that with his fastball too. Keep it low. We saw him top out at 100 miles an hour when we were in Chicago when he made his debut.
Big spot here. 2-1 to Rivera. Fouled off.
Another good fastball down in the zone. It is in the middle of the plate, but at 97 miles an hour when it's down there, tough to get hurt.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man at second. Scoreless ball game. Pitch from Pryor. Missed. Full count.
Bobby Abreu waiting on deck.
Danny, did you evoke memories of Manny Sanguillen getting down low like that? And Tony Pena spreading out that leg on occasion? Give the guy a good target.
Get down there as low as you can.
Three and 2. Strike him out. Stephen Pryor goes to the big 96. And the Dodgers are gone in the 7th. They leave a man, no runs, no hits, 1 error, man left. Mariners tossing a no-no against the Dodgers. Comfortable night on a Friday with the Mariners back in town. Thrilled to be back. And right now the Dodgers are being no-hit by the Mariners. The big story, Kevin Millwood, the no-no through 6, threw one warm-up pitch to start prior to the 7th, and then took himself out of the ballgame. New pitcher for the Dodgers, Scott Elbert. And his first hitter is Mike Carp.
Numbers for Elbert: 17 strikeouts and 16 1/3. He has a good fastball, will throw a hard slider. He has given up a couple of home runs this year, no record.
Fouled into the glove of Ellis. Carp tonight, walk, and a fly to left. There's a strike to Carp, 1-2. So Kevin Millwood, we're told, Tim Heavley making the announcement press box. Strained right groin for Millwood.
Well, I think after the way it looked, that's pretty good news.
Yeah, I would agree. 'Cause it makes sense though. He tried to lift that leg, he couldn't.
Carp is gone, striking out to start the 7th. We check in with Tom. Tom, what do you have?
All right, David, we're going to check in on the Angels taking on the Rockies in the Mile High City, and a big night for one Torrey Hunter. We'll pick it up in the 3rd inning. Hunter at the dish, and Torrey will unload. Take a look. Got some pop in that bat, and again in the 5th he goes yard again. The Halos on their way to a 7-2 victory. Back to you guys in the booth.
Tommy, thank you very much as we look at Kawasaki. 0 for 2 tonight. And center fielder's choice. Grounded out the 2nd. 0-2. Elbert's been up and down with the Dodger club since 08. He went 0-1 in 47 games last year. A couple of saves. 2.43 ERA. Strike 3. She says goodbye to Kawasaki. 2 down.
All these left-handed hitters, he's going to continue to use that hard breaking ball. His fastball at 93 miles an hour. That breaking ball has been anywhere from 88 to 90. Back to the top of the lineup, and Ichiro with a couple of hits in the game tonight.
But 8 strikeouts of Mariner hitters tonight. The Dodgers, they've been struck out 7, make that 8 times. Did not go to Dale Scott. 1-1 to Ichiro.
Interesting delivery, Mike, as he takes the ball out of his glove. He kind of shows it to you behind his back, or shows it to the hitter, and then goes to throw it.
Yeah, there's almost a little bit of a pause in there.
Yeah.
2-1. That's the inside corner. 2-2. Warming up right now, you got Josh Lindblom. Two and 2 to Ichiro, 2 out, nobody on. So far, Milwood, Furbush, and Pryor have kept the Dodgers hitless. Mariners have 5 hits. Farthest anyone has reached is Ichiro to second base in the 5th inning. Broken bat, slow roller, charging Hairston. Safe. Three straight hits for Ichiro. Well, if there's ever time you want to see him steal a bag, this would be it right here.
Yeah, shatters his bat, basically breaks it in half. Great play by Harrison as he tried the barehanded play. Ichiro's able to beat it out, and you're absolutely right, Dave. A 0-0 ball game working in the bottom of the 7th inning. No reason to wait around. I don't know what kind of move Albert has, but if he can pick up anything at all, take off. Might even be worth taking off on the first move.
Here's my chips. I'll shove them all in. Two and 0 the count. Ackley got a base hit last time up on an 0-2 pitch, single to right after striking out his first 2 times up. Albert's the second pitcher for the Dodgers tonight. Make sure you follow the Mariners with MLB.com at Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text it BAT to 31826 or visit Mariners.com for details. 2 out and a 2-0 count to Ackley. Ichiro at first. Luetge open for a hit. A string of them. 2-1 pitch.
Certainly didn't look like much of a move over to first. Ichiro should be able to pick that up.
Two one. He went. No throw. Stolen base. And a 2-2 count to Ackley. 9 for 9 for Ichiro.
Ichiro looked like he went on the first move. Wasn't going to try to read it, just takes off as soon as the pitcher starts with his leg and steals it. An easy steal.
Ground ball, foul.
Well, the pitch was a strike, Mike. It looked like Ellis had trouble getting that transfer. He kind of didn't get the grip that he wanted, so he didn't even make a throw.
Thing you forget sometimes is you get so caught up in what a guy's time is to home and all these other things, but you still have to complete the play, and it's not an easy play.
Yeah, a lot of things have to go right.
Right.
2-2. The dirt. Mariners specialize in 2-out RBIs during a road trip. On here would be something special.
Mariners 0 for 3 with men in scoring position tonight. The Dodgers 0 for 2.
Payoff coming here to Ackley with Ichiro at second. The pitch. Walked in.
Well, give Kyle Seager an opportunity. Kyle had a chance his last time up. Hit the ball hard back up the middle. Unfortunately, D. Gordon, the shortstop, was standing right there. It was an easy play.
Second time the Mariners have gotten Ichiro to second base. Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt coming out for a quick word.
Albert elected to go with a breaking ball there, Mike. 3-2 on Ackley.
Yeah, I think that should give Kyle Seager a lot of information on what he was going to try to do. And he wasn't worried about walking Ackley in that situation. He's going to try to get him out eventually with that breaking ball.
Make sure you avoid the headache of paying at the pump and save money by riding Sound Transit. Visit soundtransit.org for details. Best opportunity, maybe the second best opportunity tonight for the Mariners. 2 outs, runners at first and second. At first and second in the 5th. And that's the at bat Mike was just talking about. He hit a ground ball up the middle. And Gordon right behind second got the force to end the inning at second base. Opportunity here, first pitch. Breaking ball for strike. 0 for 2 for Kyle with a walk.
I think you're right, Mike. I think Albert loves his breaking ball to the lefties, and certainly here in this situation, he's probably going to live and die with that pitch.
He's ahead 0-2.
A good fastball inside. Now you'd expect to see that breaking ball again since he's ahead 0-2. Probably give him a steady diet and make him hit that pitch.
I think he'd want to throw a couple of them off the plate to see if he can get Kyle to chase it.
Albert, 26-year-old left-hander out of Joplin, Missouri, lives in Surprise, Arizona. 0-2, breaking ball up high. Inning started with Karp striking out, Kawasaki striking out, infield hit for Ichiro, and a walk to Ackley.
See what Kyle Seager has done this year with 2 outs, hitting .394.
Just off the glove, Ichiro to third. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. 1-0. Mariners a 2-out RBI by Kyle Seager. He checks it again. That's his 37th run batted in on the season, extending his team lead. Ichiro with the infield hit. Give him a big tip of the cap with the stolen base.
Well, Kyle, good piece of hitting. Here's the breaking ball again, Dan. We were talking about off the plate. Kyle, he's just such a smart hitter. Goes with the pitch, just out of the reach from Gordon, but a solid line drive in the left. And with 2 outs, Ichiro will score easily on the play. Just good hitting from Kyle Seager. We've seen him do it all year, and that's why he's hitting around 400 this year with men in scoring position.
23rd 2-out RBI. He has been tremendous. Don Mattingly taking a low, slow walk out to the mound to make a pitching change. So Albert has chased the Mariners, finally capitalized here in the 7th. A big 2-out ribby by Kyle Seager. It's 1-0 Mariners. Welcome back, everybody. Mariners a 1-0 lead, and interesting the way this inning started. Kevin Millwood threw 6. He had a no-hitter working and was throwing quite well. A warm-up to start the 7th, and you could see something right there was bothering him. Ready for the second pitch, and he said, "Nah, I don't think so." Strained right groin. So what did the Mariners do? 2 outs, Kyle Seager. Bottom of the 7th, slaps one just over the outreach glove of the shortstop D. Gordon. Ichiro, and an infield hit and a stolen base scores, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead. Kyle Seager with yet another RBI. His 37th, his 23rd coming with 2 outs.
Josh Lindblom will take over, a 2.5 ERA for him. 26 strikeouts in the 28 2/3.
First pitch to Montero, ball 1. Montero tonight popped to second, a strikeout, and an infield hit. You got Ackley at second, Seager at first. The Carolina connection on board with 2 down. Fly ball center field for Tony Gwynn Jr. He puts it away, but the Mariners get on the board. Is 1 enough? We're going to find out as we go to the 8th. A run on 7 hits for the Mariners. They lead the Dodgers as they no-hit them here at Safeco Field. An impressive collection of zeros, but the Mariners have struck in the bottom of the 7th to take a 1-0 lead. Stephen Pryor will continue on here in the 8th. He'll face Bobby Abreu, Jerry Hairston Jr., and James Loney. Kyle Seager coming up big. Another RBI. Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Mariners have Lucas Luetge throwing again in the pen, along with Brandon League.
Abreu tonight, a ground out to third, hit into a double play. Again, Kevin Millwood, no action through 6 as we look at Brandon League. Looked good his last couple of times out, Mike.
Yeah, he has. It looks like he has command of his fastball again, a big key for Brandon.
(2-0) to Abreu. Left fielder, defensive replacement, Sean Figgins. Figgy made a nice catch down in Anaheim coming in late in the game. 2-0. And Pryor can't find it right now. It's 3-0 count to the leadoff man, Bobby Abreu. Jerry Hairston Jr. is the on-deck hitter. Strike 3-1. Abreu coming over to the Dodgers after being cut loose by the Angels. Back in the National League. Spent a lot of years with Houston and the Phillies. It's a walk. Leadoff walk. Always treacherous as we take a look at Home Depot doing more in defense. And so far, best defensive play tonight back in the 5th inning. 3-6-3 double play. Taylor made hit right to Smoke close to the bag. Kawasaki making a throw back.
Kyle Seager, the third baseman, playing up in front of the bag, expecting Harrison to bunt here. Anybody out, Dodgers down by a run.
Ball 1 to Jerry. Montero going out for a word. So Millwood leaves at the beginning of the 7th after throwing no-hit ball. Charlie Furbush. He came in and faced 3 hitters. He threw a ball away on a comebacker by Herrera. 2-base error. He came back, struck out Ether, and then Pryor ended the inning, striking out Rivera. 1-0 to Hairston. 2-0. And Pryor painting himself into some difficult territory here. Tying runs already aboard. You don't want to put the go-ahead run out there. You got James Loney. 0 for 2 tonight. He's on deck. 3-0 pitch. 4-pitch walk. Oh boy.
That'll bring Eric Luetge out of the dugout. Going with Lucas Luetge, left-hander.
Has been very good in tight situations where you need a couple outs against tough left-handed hitters. Tough go for Stephen Pryor in his home debut. The Mariner, as he debuted in Chicago, got a strikeout, 2 walks, and leaves with 2 men on in this 1-0 lead for the Mariners in the 8th.
Today's Tracer Technology is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
So Stephen Pryor bumming in the dugout right now after walking the first 2 men here in the 8th inning. So 2 on for the Dodgers. Lucas Luetge might be the tightest situation he's been brought into since he was called up.
Well, he certainly pitched well with his 13 strikeouts in the 13 innings that he has pitched. So what he's done in inherited runners, been excellent, stranding runners.
James Loney, the hitter, first and second, nobody out, 1-0 Mariners. 1 in order, doesn't get it down, checks at third, didn't go, ball 1.
That was close to him offering at the pitch, and it also looked like a pretty good pitch.
And a little breaking ball.
Yeah.
Breaking balls are tough to bunt, though, I will say. Not easy.
It's a foul. Right on cue, Mr. Wilson.
And the breaking ball.
What makes it so tough?
No, just the break. I preferred bunting a fastball to bunting a breaking ball.
Straight.
Yeah.
High level, consistent, right?
It's easier to set an angle on a fastball, too.
Right.
That breaking ball's running away from him, the ball's spinning that way, and even if his angle is decent, it's going to spin off the barrel of the bat, as you saw that last one.
1-1. Crashing from the corners. Bunt laid down. Smoke. They practice this before the game, and they'll take the sure out. Sacrifice laid down by Loney. And for Loney, that's his first of the year.
Well, Mike, you saw Justin Smoke field that ball, and he thought about third base, but saw that the runner was too close to the bag to make the throw, so did the alert thing and turned it through the first base to get the out.
Yeah, you'll see. You have to make a decision right away as you take a look at the McDonald's Supermo. The ball will go out there, and Justin has to make a decision right away. If you have any doubt at all, you have to get the out at first. You can't take a chance if you think there's going to be a close play. So you're right. He will definitely make the right play, turn around. He had a good look at it. Didn't think he was going to get there in time. Just gets the out.
Eric Wedge going back to the bullpen. Luetge throws to one batter. A.J. Ellis, right-hander. We're going to bring in Brandon League. Second and third. One out and a 1-0 lead for the Mariners here in the 8th. Tight, taut situation for Brandon League. 1-0 Mariners in the 8th. Dodgers runners at second and third. And hey, fans, Major League Baseball, it's clubs and players, and the American Academy of Dermatology remind fans to play Sun Smart. Examine your skin for signs of skin cancer, a new or changing mole, and protect yourself from the sun with sunscreen. Mariners cap and sunglasses, they're all good. For more information, visit MLB.com and play smart, playsunsmart.org. What a spot here. A Friday night BLT. Second and third, one out.
As you mentioned, Brandon, as you take a look at his numbers, Brandon has pitched better lately. He looks like he's had better command on the road trip.
First hitter, A.J. Ellis, strike one. Ellis tonight struck out on an 0-2 pitch. Millwood got him again on a 1-2 in the 6th. Alex Castellanos is the pinch runner at third for Bobby Abreu. One out, runners at second and third. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
That is a well-located fastball at 95 miles an hour. Take a look at it on the knees, outside corner.
Huge spot here for League. He's got Ellis 0-2. Chop foul.
First couple pitches of the at-bat, Jesus Montero looking into the dugout, Mike, to get the signs from Jeff Datz whether or not they were thinking maybe pitch out
For the
squeeze. And now with 2 strikes that won't happen, but they were checking in earlier because I think they were thinking up here like we were in the booth, maybe a squeeze.
The 0-2 to A.J. Ellis. Triple foul again. Inning started with Stephen Pryor walking Abreu and Hairston Jr. Loney sacrificed them over the second and third, and now League. Third pitcher this inning for the Mariners. They lead 1-0 in a Kyle Seager 7th inning 2-out RBI single. Long look by League. And here we go. The 0-2 to Ellis. Line drive, left field, coming on, Figgins, coming on, he makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. The runner holds, 2 down. Nicely done, a great secondary jump there by Sean Figgins. Defensive replacement for Mike Cart.
You take a look at it, he's out in front of this pitch, just kind of flips it out in the left field, and the ball's dying quickly out there as Figgins comes in to make the catch. And a strong throw to home.
And I got to tell you, before the game, Mariners went through infield and outfield practice, the old style, and Figgy made some good throws from center field, showing a strong arm, and boy, did he need it right there. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. 2 outs, Tony Gwynn Jr. The second big play Figgins has made this week as a late inning defensive replacement. Gwynn tonight has fouled out to Montero on a fine play at the dugout, the Dodger dugout, and he struck out. All kinds of hot water for the Mariners, protecting a 1-0 lead. Still no hitting the Dodgers. So right one. 22,028 on hand this Friday night here at Safeco Field in Seattle. Gary Hairston, the go-ahead run. He's at second. Castellanos at third. He's pitched well the last couple of times out. He's ahead of Gwynn 0-1. 0-2. Good looking pitch by Lee.
Really good split right there from Brandon Lee. This split's about 8-9 miles an hour off of his fastball. You can see Gwynn way out in front of that pitch.
Yeah, not only was that pitch down, Mike, but off the outside part of the plate, just where you want it.
Crowd coming to its feet. 2 outs, 2 on. League set. Here comes a time call. By Tony Gwynn Jr. League working his way back in the top form, his biggest spot as he's had all year. The 0-2 to Gwynn. Outside for a ball. 1-2.
Like that split got away from Brandon there that time. Didn't get on top of it, kind of lost it off to the left there. But that's okay. 0-2 like that. You can still come back here with that good hard splitter down.
League comes set. 1-2 to Gwynn. Hey, he struck him out! Brandon League! He's back, everybody! He gets out of a second and third jam here in the 8th, and the Mariners go to the home 8th with a 1-0 lead as they no-hit the Dodgers.
Rethink possible. And back upstairs to Dave Sims, who may be on the verge of calling his second no-hitter of the season.
Thank you, Tom. I'll take it. One for the good guys this time. Smoke to lead it off. First one back on the 21st of April. Philip Humber, the White Sox. You boys signed up for a few runs here this inning?
Yeah, that was exciting last inning, but let's go ahead and put a couple more on the board, Dave. Tom Wilhelmsen getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Smoke seeing a steady diet. His fastball is in as Tom Wilhelmsen warms up.
Gotta love seeing that clutch pitching right there.
Oh,
Brandon Lee
tremendous.
doing a nice job.
Comes in and gets 2 huge outs. Popped it up. Shortstop takes it. D. Gordon. That was an adventure. 1 out.
Take a look at the last pitch that Brandon threw here in our McDonald's Supermo. You can see the split grip. Great pitch. Gordon out in front of it to get the big strikeout to end the inning. That's a pitch, Dan, that he's been struggling with. It looks like he's gotten the feel for that back. Brandon, his last few outings, has really pitched well.
Yeah, I really like to see him throwing that pitch more on the outside part of the plate to the lefties there instead of more in the middle of the plate. It seems like it's got that good movement. It's actually running away from the left-hander a little bit and just looks really good.
Positive reinforcement these last 3 appearances got to be huge for him.
Well, I think the other thing that was interesting too is on the road talking to Eric Luetge about him. He said he wanted him to pitch a couple of innings in an outing, and he was able to do that twice. And he said so he has to pitch. He can't just come in and fire his fastball. He has to pitch a little bit. And it seems like that was absolutely what he needed, because he looks like he's back to where he was at the beginning of the year.
Saunders 1 for 3. He's got a 1-1 count. Pretty good heater. That's Lindblom. 1-2. Dodgers in the ninth will have top of the order. Gordon, Herrera, and Ethier. Two at 2. Pitch to Saunders in tight. What a full count. Saunders to be followed by John Jaso. JJ's 0 for 3. Pitch to Saunders. Staying alive. Mariners run coming in the 7th inning. It came with 2 outs. Karp struck out. Kawasaki struck out. Infield hit Ichiro. With Ackley at the plate, Ichiro stole second. Ackley walked. Seager delivered a 2-out base knock. 1-0 Mariners. Saunders continues the fight.
Lindblom really using that top part of the strike zone, Mike, on Saunders here. Trying to tie him up, throwing a lot of pitches in, tying him up on the hands, but also up out over the plate, just trying to get him to swing and miss at that pitch up top.
And I think that's been the key, because he has been late on the last 2 fastballs in a 3-2 count. You think he'd be able to get on one of them.
3-2. Fouled off again. And if you're just joining us, Kevin Millwood, no hit ball, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts through 6. Comes out to warm up for the 7th inning, throws 1 pitch and says, uh-oh, this is not good, and has to leave the game. We're later told it's a strain right groin. Since then, the Mariners have gone to Furbush, Pryor, League and Wilhelmsen forthcoming. Payoff to Saunders, fouled into the glove of the catcher, A.J. Ellis. That's a strikeout, 2 down. Here in the 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. What a game we have here tonight. A run on 7 hits and an error for the Mariners. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Dodgers. And 1 to Jason. Care to speculate what the Millwood injury might bring to the Mariners?
It's hard to say. They're saying it's mild, so you just don't know, Dave. I mean, obviously, if it's going to keep him out for a period of time, he goes to the DL, and from there, you obviously have to replace him. But I think we just going to have to wait and see how he feels tomorrow, and if that's even going to be an option for him. Maybe he misses a start. You just don't know.
2 to Jaso.
Saw something similar on the road trip when Felix came out with the sore back, and we couldn't tell how long he was going to be out. And it looks like he's going to get the start on Tuesday. So hopefully it is mild, and it's something that Kevin can get back from quickly, because he is really pitching well.
His fastball, the best he's had all year. 1-2 to Jaso. Dodgers come in having swept Philly. Mariners back in town after going 5-4 on a road trip. 3 tough destinations too: Texas, Chicago White Sox, and the Angels. They come out 5-4. That's outstanding. Ball 2 strikes to Jaso. 2-2. Kyle Seager knocked in Ichiro. They only scored tonight. 2-2. Jaso back up the middle, base hit. Here we go again, another 2-out RBI opportunity for the Mariners.
John Jaso this year grinding out at bats, finally gets a fastball in the middle of the plate, something he can handle. Rarely you see him try to do too much with anything, and he just lines it right back up the middle for a solid base hit.
Bring up Sean Figgins. Replaced Carp in left field. He made an outstanding catch and throw. Fly ball by A.J. Ellis, top of the 8th. Down the line, back in by Loney. That'll do it. Here we go. Buckle up time. 1-0 Mariners. They got a no-hitter. More importantly, trying to win the game, and they're going to go to Tom Wilhelmsen. Is it closing time? We're going to find out. There's your offensive hero for tonight. A 2-out 7th inning RBI by the RBI leader Kyle Seager has the Mariners in front 1-0 as we take a look at our Coors Light freeze can. Here we go. Tom Wilhelmsen takes over. He'll face the top of the order here in the 9th. D. Gordon, Elian Herrera, and Andre Ethier. The all-important strike one.
And for Tom, you see it right there, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He'll also bring out one of the best curveballs you'll see in the major leagues. And on the infield, Seager playing up. He and Smoke both guarding the line, trying to take the double away as you look at Tom's numbers.
Wilhelmsen ahead, 0-2. Gordon tonight, strikeout looking, tried to bunt his way on. Fine play by Seager, and a fly out to center. The 0-2, grounded foul. Brendan Ryan, maybe the best shortstop in the American League, takes over. Kawasaki. Wilhelmsen ahead of Gordon, 0-2. Broken bat. Ryan charges. Quick release. Got him. Run out. Don Mattingly coming out of the dugout. What a play.
Oh, Eric Luetge putting him in the game to make that play right there. Brendan's done it all year. Gordon can fly. He gets jammed on the play. But a great play by Brendan Ryan. Gordon clearly didn't think so.
Ted Barrett, first base umpire.
Like we always said, the ball will find you. Brendan Ryan just getting in the game, and the ball found him right away. But you're right. He's in there for that reason right there, and he made the play. Outstanding play coming in on that ball to make the out with Gordon running.
And the key for Brendan is he always gets rid of it quickly with something on it. Smoke stretches out there trying to help him out by stealing this one. But look how quickly he gets rid of it, and then the throw, and what a good play by Brendan Ryan.
One down. And it'll bring up Elian Herrera. Herrera 0 for 3. Fly to center. Struck out, reached on a 2-base error. A throwing error by Charlie Furbush back in the 7th. First pitch from Wilhelmsen. Strike one.
Taylor with the super mode. That is close.
One out, nobody on. Outfield shallow for Herrera. Figgins close to the line and shallow. Center fielder Saunders towards left center and shallow. Montero sets up outside the 1-1. 2 outs. The Mariners are 1 out away from the 10th combined no-hitter in baseball history.
best hitter the Dodgers are going to send to the plate, Andre Ethier.
Ethier starting tonight. Leads the Dodgers in runs, hits, total bases, doubles, and RBIs, and strikeouts. Tonight, Andre Ethier ground out to short, popped to third, and a strikeout. Wilhelmsen first pitch to Ethier. Foul off, strike one.
Fastball from Tom on the outside corner. They'll try to keep the ball away from Ethier this entire at bat, but at 97 miles an hour. Good pitch, good first pitch to get ahead of.
Good hitter in Ethier. Wilhelmsen the pitch. Ground ball, this will do it! Ackley throws a no-hitter! A combined no-hitter by the Mariners! Milwood, Furbush, Pryor, Luetge, League, and Williamson. Closing time. It's 1-0. The Mariners win it.
What a great ball game. The Mariners scoring a ton of runs on the road. Come back to start this long home stand for them. They get one run. Of course, it's a clutch base hit by Kyle Seager to drive in the one run, and just an outstanding pitching by the Mariners.
Yeah, he started out with Kevin Millwood. Unfortunately, he had to leave the game after the sixth, but had everything going. Probably the best stuff he's had all year. And then the bullpen picking up right where he left off. Just continuing to shut down the Dodgers. And then you're right, Kyle Seager, huge base hit with 2 outs.
And some great clutch pitching from Brandon League. Don't forget that the Dodgers had the Mariners in some trouble in the 8th. Brandon coming up with some big-time pitches. Gets the strikeout to get out of that inning. And, of course, Tom Wilhelmsen, 1, 2, 3, 9.
10th combined no-hitter in Major League history. The first by the Mariners. What a performance. Kyle Seager comes up big, but let's remember those pitchers' names. Kevin Millwood went 6. Charlie Furbush, Stephen Pryor, Lucas Luetge, Brandon League, and the bartender Tom Wilhelmsen combined for a no-hitter against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who come in tonight with the best record in Major League Baseball. It's the first combined no-no by the Mariners franchise. What a ball game, and Kyle Seager comes up big, and let's go down and hear it. Mr. Closing Time, the bartender Tom Wilhelmsen standing by with Jen Mueller.
Tom, Dave Sims just announced that this is the first combined no-hitter in Mariners history. Have you ever been a part of a game like this?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's been great. Thank you, fans, keeping us going, man. Getting it done, baby.
When you take the mound in the 9th inning, you know what the situation is. What are your emotions and perhaps nerves on the mound?
You know, it's just to remain calm and execute my pitches, and we got it done. Good defensive plays, completes it.
I got to say, there was a couple of plays there that you just kind of, the heart stops. What was your reaction when you're watching Brendan feel that?
Just, you know, an unbelievable play. He does it time and time again at the key moments in the game, and just good for everybody.
It seems like we have talked so much about this team coming together. How did this help just put a bow on how well you guys have meshed in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, you know, you're exactly right. The last road trip, and now this game, 1-0 ball game. Everyone's in it, pumped, ready to go. Nothing's better.
I have a feeling there's a celebration in the clubhouse you need to get inside and enjoy. Congratulations, Tom.
Great, thanks a lot.